In a dramatic and unprecedented political standoff, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have made headlines by refusing to comply with subpoenas issued by the House Oversight Committee. The committee is investigating their alleged connections to Jeffrey Epstein, a case that has already sent shockwaves through Washington and the nation at large. The Clintons' decision to defy Congress is not only a bold assertion of their own legal strategy, but also a direct challenge to the authority of the legislative branch. On January 13, 2026, the Clintons formally rejected the committee's demands to testify, sending a clear message that they would not participate in what they described as a politically motivated inquiry. This move has dramatically escalated tensions between Congress and the former First Family, setting the stage for a high-stakes confrontation that could have far-reaching implications for the balance of power in Washington. Their refusal was delivered in a series of direct defiant letters to the committee, in which the Clintons not only questioned the legitimacy of the investigation, but also accused Congress of overstepping its constitutional authority. By framing the inquiry as a partisan attack, they have sought to rally public opinion to their side, casting themselves as victims of a political witch hunt, rather than subjects of a legitimate investigation. In one particularly striking passage, their letter declared, "You will say, it is not our decision to make, but we have made it. Now, you have to make yours." This statement not only underscores their defiance, but also throws the ball squarely back into Congress's court, forcing lawmakers to decide how far they are willing to go to enforce their subpoenas. Chairman James Comer, who leads the House Oversight Committee, responded swiftly and forcefully. He announced that contempt proceedings would begin against Bill Clinton, signaling that Congress is prepared to use its full arsenal of legal tools to compel compliance. At the same time, Comer offered Hillary Clinton a final opportunity to cooperate, perhaps hoping to avoid a full-blown constitutional crisis. By separating the cases of Bill and Hillary Clinton, the committee has increased the pressure on both individuals, making it clear that each will be held accountable for their own actions. This strategy also allows Congress to pursue parallel legal tracks, potentially increasing the chances of a breakthrough in the standoff. At the heart of this escalating clash lies a fundamental question. What are the true limits of congressional power, especially when it comes to investigating high-profile political figures? The outcome of this battle could set a precedent for how Congress exercises its oversight authority in the future, and how much protection former officials can claim under the law. The Clintons and their legal team argue that the committee has crossed both legal and ethical boundaries, accusing lawmakers of abusing their investigative powers for political gain. They insist that the subpoenas are not only unjustified, but also represent a dangerous erosion of individual rights and due process. As this high-profile showdown unfolds, it raises urgent questions about government oversight, accountability, and the enduring shadow cast by Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. The public, the media, and legal experts are all watching closely, aware that the stakes extend far beyond the immediate controversy. In the coming weeks, all eyes will be on Washington to see whether this standoff leads to a protracted legal battle, a dramatic political compromise, or perhaps a new chapter in the ongoing struggle between Congress and those it seeks to hold accountable. The outcome could reshape the boundaries of power in American government for years to come. The committee's investigation aims to uncover the full extent of Jeffrey Epstein's network and why he evaded justice for so long. Subpoenas to the Clintons, approved unanimously in August 2025, are central to this effort. Bill Clinton faces questions about documented interactions with Epstein, including 17 White House visits and 27 flights on Epstein's jet. Hillary Clinton's testimony is sought for her unique perspective as a public figure potentially aware of Epstein's activities. The committee wants to know what the Clintons knew, when, and what actions they took. The Clintons in turn argue the focus should be on systemic failures within government, not on them personally. This fundamental disagreement shapes the entire investigation. The Clintons' legal team argues the subpoenas are invalid and unenforceable, challenging the committee's authority. They claim they're being singled out for political reasons, noting others were allowed to submit written statements instead of appearing in person. The Clintons say they've already provided all relevant information and have nothing to hide. By highlighting unequal treatment, they frame the committee's demands as a partisan spectacle. Their strategy appears cooperative while painting the inquiry as punitive. Ultimately, they argue Congress's subpoena power must be fair and serve a legitimate purpose. The burden, they insist, is on Chairman Comer to justify the committee's approach. The committee's focus on Bill Clinton stems from a long and well-documented history of association with Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier whose connections to powerful figures have sparked global controversy. Over the years, Clinton's name has repeatedly surfaced in investigations and media reports, fueling speculation and public debate about the true nature of his relationship with Epstein. During Clinton's presidency, Epstein visited the White House at least 17 times, according to visitor logs and official records. These visits, which spanned several years, have raised persistent questions about the frequency and purpose of their meetings. Some of these encounters reportedly included private discussions, while others took place during larger gatherings or events. After leaving office, Clinton's interactions with Epstein did not end. Flight logs reveal that Clinton flew on Epstein's private jet, often referred to as the Lolita Express, for at least 27 separate trips. These flights were said to be related to Clinton Foundation work, with destinations ranging from Africa to Asia, and included stops in Europe and the Caribbean. Clinton's representatives have consistently maintained that these trips were strictly for official purposes, emphasizing that he was always accompanied by staff, Secret Service agents, and other associates. They argue that there was no inappropriate conduct and that Clinton's presence on Epstein's jet was solely for philanthropic and humanitarian missions. Despite these assurances, the Congressional Committee is determined to get direct, unambiguous answers about the true nature of Clinton's meetings and travels with Epstein. Lawmakers are seeking clarity on who else was present, what was discussed, and whether any boundaries were crossed. Clinton's public defense has been clear. He claims to have severed all ties with Epstein years before Epstein's 2019 arrest, and insists he had no knowledge of Epstein's criminal activities. He has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing or inappropriate behavior. Nevertheless, the committee is not satisfied with statements alone. They are demanding sworn testimony from Clinton and others involved, hoping to address lingering doubts and dispel rumors that have persisted for years. For committee members, only direct, under-oath answers can resolve the controversy and restore public trust. The pressure is mounting as the investigation continues to unfold. The stakes are high for both sides. The outcome could have lasting implications for Clinton's legacy, the committee's credibility, and the broader public's faith in government transparency. New photographs from unsealed DOJ documents have intensified scrutiny of Bill Clinton's relationship with Epstein. Images show Clinton in informal settings with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, including a shirtless jacuzzi photo and poolside scenes. While not evidence of criminal activity, these photos suggest a personal connection beyond professional ties. The committee sees these images as potential evidence, raising new questions about the true nature of Clinton's association. Clinton's defenders struggle to explain the casual familiarity depicted. The photos keep the story in the headlines and increase pressure for testimony. For the committee, these visuals demand answers about context, participants, and purpose. The controversy is now both visual and political. When someone refuses to comply with a congressional subpoena, they're not just ignoring a simple request, they're challenging the very foundation of Congress's investigative power. This act risks a contempt of Congress charge, a legal tool designed to uphold the authority of the legislative branch and ensure that no one is above the law. Defying Congress is a bold move, one that can have far-reaching consequences for both individuals and the institutions involved. Such defiance is seen as a direct affront to the checks and balances that underpin American democracy, and it represents a serious challenge to legislative authority. Congress relies on its ability to gather information and hold people accountable, and when that power is threatened, the stakes are high for everyone involved. The process of holding someone in contempt begins with a committee vote. Members of the committee debate the issue, weigh the evidence, and ultimately decide whether the refusal to comply warrants further action. If the committee agrees, the matter is then brought before the full House of Representatives, where every member has a say in the outcome. This step ensures that the decision carries the weight of the entire legislative body. Should the House approve the contempt citation, the Speaker formally refers the case to the Department of Justice. At this point, the issue moves from the political arena into the realm of law enforcement, where prosecutors must decide whether to pursue criminal charges. Criminal contempt of Congress is a serious offense. It can result in hefty fines, jail time, or both. The legal consequences are real and can follow someone for years, affecting their career, finances, and personal life. Beyond the courtroom, the reputational damage can be devastating. Media coverage is relentless, and the public scrutiny can linger long after the legal process ends, casting a shadow over everyone involved. For high-profile figures like Bill and Hillary Clinton, a contempt vote would be more than a legal setback. It would be a major political blow. It would fuel public suspicions, energize critics, and keep the scandal in the headlines, making it even harder to move forward. What begins as a political dispute can quickly escalate into a potential criminal case, blurring the lines between politics and law. The process is a reminder of how closely intertwined these worlds can be, especially at the highest levels of government. Congress's power to enforce compliance is real, but it's not without limits. Legal battles can drag on, and the outcome is never guaranteed. Still, the threat of contempt remains a powerful tool for lawmakers seeking the truth. Ultimately, the outcome of such a confrontation will shape not only the Clintons' legacy, but also the future authority of Congress itself. The decisions made here will echo through history, influencing how future investigations are conducted. In moments like these, the stakes couldn't be higher, for the individuals involved, for Congress, and for the nation as a whole. If the House votes to hold Bill Clinton in contempt, the case moves to the Department of Justice. DOJ prosecutors decide whether to pursue charges, weighing evidence and legal defenses. The process is fraught with political tension, especially given Clinton's prominence. DOJ must independently judge the merits, not simply act as Congress's enforcer. If prosecuted, Clinton could face fines or jail. If not, Congress may accuse DOJ of political bias. The outcome will test the balance of power between Congress and the executive branch. The legal and political stakes are enormous. Despite the political firestorm, law enforcement has never accused Bill Clinton of any crime related to Epstein. The House Committee's inquiry is about oversight, not criminal charges. Clinton's name appears in records as an associate, but no victims have implicated him in Epstein's crimes. His spokesperson maintains Clinton knew nothing of Epstein's criminal activities and had no contact for over a decade before Epstein's arrest. The distinction between political investigation and criminal accusation remains central to Clinton's defense. The standoff between the Clintons and Congress is just beginning. The committee's contempt vote against Bill Clinton will test political resolve and unity. If passed, the DOJ's decision to prosecute or not will be a pivotal moment. Hillary Clinton's response, whether to comply or defy, could shift the dynamics. The committee's staggered deadlines are designed to maximize pressure and possibly divide the Clintons. Ultimately, this is a battle over narrative, legacy, and congressional power. The public now waits to see if a former president will be compelled to testify, or if defiance will prevail.